Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
All right. How are you, Robin?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Yeah, I'm doing okay. A little bit lockdown jaded. Haven't really changed since Tuesday, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the weekend when I don't have to teach anybody. Whee. But no, I'm all right.
I'm teaching all them whippersnappers.
I'm all right. How are you?
Yes, not too bad. I'm done. Frankly, I'd like lockdown to be over.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone would, so I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Sure, everyone, of course, it's going to go to the 8th of March at the very earliest here for school lockdown. So
yeah.
But anyway,
and when they say the very earliest, and that's based on if everything works and so on and so forth, so we know that's not going to be March at all.
No, well, they might just do it anyway. That's the fear, isn't it? To me, it just seems a bit of nonsense. Not that we're talking about that tonight. It seems a bit of nonsense. They might as well wait to the Easter holidays. Get a chance to settle down. But anyway, what do I know? What do they know?
Exactly. Not a lot more, it turns out, in fact.
No.
So we're here tonight. We're going to be talking about Khagra's Ravagers.
Ravagers.
Who out there watching us has played them yet? I know that somebody has messaged me already saying they're playing them this very afternoon right now on TTS. Oh, wow. They say they're great.
Wow.
So, some people have said that their partners. Joseph Bigman says his partner's been told she's going to be working from home till July. My work has actually said, you know what? Actually, this whole work from home thing, actually, it's quite good. So we're mostly going to have people working from home even when COVID goes away now.
Yeah, my wife's basically firm have offered that up. Unfortunately, in January last year, she took a pay cut and worked permanently from home. She's now missed out by 2 months, but never mind. Them's the breaks.
That's a bit of a shitter, isn't it?
Yeah, just one of those things.
Yes. Doesn't do to dwell, basically, but at the same time, sometimes you really want to fucking dwell a little bit.
Exactly. Oh, I've just realised I've got the dodgy chair again. I'm going to change my chair.
Whilst Robin changes his chair over, we are going...
Well.
What's that? You done what this evening?
Sorry?
You done what this evening?
I've been sitting here for about half an hour looking at the cards, thinking about what I'm going to say, checking out important FAQ answers, and then I forgot to change my chair.
Forgot to get your chair. We've got a lot of people saying they can only stay for half an hour, 45 minutes. We're not planning on going on more than maybe an hour anyway, because we can't be bothered, frankly.
Yeah.
So we'll let's crash on. So we're going to look at Khagra's Ravagers cards. Let me just swap my view.
Ready for action! Ready for action! Well, we are, Pete.
Nobody wanted that.
We are.
Nobody wanted that. So there we go. We are. I'm on Underworld's DB. Frankly, if you don't use it to build your decks, you're making your life a sadder place.
Death now. Everybody says.
Yep, sorry about that, everybody. Sorry, forgot that.
Paint battle rollers. Hello, paint battle rollers. Hello, paint battle rollers. We're talking about the cards. Pete and I normally meet, but we've been a bit flat lately.
Yeah.
And struggling to sort of get the enthusiasm up to play games. But we thought we'd do a live chat. We thought we were going to record it. We were going to record it live. I'm doubled on sound. Apparently, what have you done?
Yeah, sorted it. Got it. Sorted it.
Okay, so we thought we'd meet live and chat over it live. That's what we thought we'd do. So
yeah, we figured, you know what, we can do it live. It's not going to matter if we cock a few bits up, and frankly, it means we can get it out straight away right now, rather than it taking another week to edit it all. So hopefully, Robin's sound is now sorted out. But do share if it's still echoing.
Apparently, I've fallen down a well. Oh, is that the echo?
Oh, no.
Is that the echo? Is that the echo? I see.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, sorry, that was too subtle for me.
So let's have a look. We did go through Khagra's Ravagers. Fuck's sake, I keep calling them Reavers, but that's obviously
Ravagers ready.
Ravagers ready.
Exactly.
Good morning from Australia. Hello, Milo13. Hello, Australia. We went through Khagra's Ravagers cards, the fighter cards, but we figured we'd go through all of the regular cards and some of the universals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because why not? So let's crash on. First one we've got is Absolute Desecration.
Desecration.
Do you have any thoughts on this one, Robin?
Absolutely. You've got them in a different order to me.
I've got them in numerical order.
Yeah. They're not in that order they're not in that order on the GW website. Absolute Desecration. Let me quickly read it. It's score.
Score in the third end phase if there are 4 or more Desecration tokens on the battlefield. It's 4 glory.
Yeah, third end phase if there are 4 or more. It's an interesting one. I'm going to have to see how the desecration mechanic works out. I mean, I guess that's kind of the elephant in the room, isn't it? Because it's been leaked today. There's been various shenanigans about whether people should talk about it. If they've seen it, they should pretend they haven't seen it. But most of us have. I kind of feel like the cat is out of the box. It's been proved both either dead or alive. So
both of them.
So the desecration tokens can be taken away if a friendly fighter ends up or an enemy fighter ends up on a objective after you put it,
or it gets flipped,
but only after the power phase, not at the end of an activation.
Yeah.
It gets removed.
Or if the token gets flipped, it gets rid of it as well, and then you can't do anything. So it feels to me, with all the flipping tech going on and people still wanting to jump on objectives, getting 4 tokens on could be a tall ask.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's going to depend on the meta shifts, I guess, but I feel like there's going to be more reliable cards out there.
This feels a bit like an annihilation for me. For glory, it looks tempting, but it's not worth it.
It's one of those. I was about to say that it's one of those cards. If you're winning, then you'll score it. But probably you won't need to.
Yeah, so maybe good if you want to go for high glory in a tournament deck kind of thing, but in one-off games and stuff.
No, I feel like in a tournament, everybody you'd be playing would be too good to let you score it.
Yeah, that's true. Next one we've got is Brutal Desecration. Sounds a bit violent.
Yep.
Score immediately after your warband desecrates an objective. I mean, that's an instant.
That's a shoe-in, isn't it?
That is every time. That's a must-have. Yeah. You've got multiple ways to desecrate, and I think you've got a ploy which enables you to just desecrate an objective as well, which we'll come on to. So to get that, that's just got to have it.
Got to be in there. I must have.
Next one. Dark Approval. Score immediately after an activation in which your leader makes an attack action and takes an enemy leader out of action. Well, we've seen multiple iterations of this one.
I don't tend to carry this card, and I'm not sure how long. I suppose you might have a double chance of this because you can promote the wizard to second in command to be a leader, can't you? But I'm never sure about taking this one. I never like to have that kind of. You have to commit your leader to kill the enemy leader. So I probably wouldn't take it, but I know there are people out there who would.
But it is 2 glory. It's a surge. That could be a juicy 3 glory lead. In some situations,
and you'd be getting the primacy token as well, probably.
That's true. So... And she does do 3 damage off the bat, so she's capable of one-shotting a plethora of leaders. Yeah,
and I think these guys are going to be able to play kind of committing forward, getting into the other half. So maybe it will work out on the balance probability. It's worth taking. But I find with these cards, if something happens, like somebody else takes out the leader, or the leader doesn't come anywhere near you, or your leader dies, and that's like then things start to brick up.
Yeah, and you know that once your leader dies, that's when you're going to pull that objective out the bag.
Yeah, so they have at least got some backup potentially.
Yeah. Desolate Domain is another surge. So that's 3 surges now out of 4. Scores immediately after an activation if each objective token in one or more players' territories has a desecration token. I mean, that sounds pretty easy as well.
Yes.
If you've got 2 objectives in your half, or if you're lucky enough to put all your objectives in your opponent's half and you've got 1 remaining.
Yeah.
It feels easy to do.
Or, I don't know what happened. Each objective token, that's a question of, if it's flipped as well, then it's
not an objective token.
Not an objective token. So you've got that possibility. You could. I don't know whether you would or not, but you could do some interesting things with things like coveted spoils and stuff like that, and this, and kind of flip them, and and potentially score this on your way to that. I don't know. It's an interesting one. It's not as big a shoe-in as Brutal Desecration. No.
But it's still not that hard to score, and it does key off of their main sort of USP.
It does.
For what
it
they
does.
do.
And you said there's cards that can help as well, aren't there? So you may not even use position.
So this feels like a pretty easy one, and probably going to be taken quite a while. Next one's Fierce Conquerors, a dual card. 3 or more friendly fighters in enemy territory, or 2 or more desecration tokens on the battlefield. For 2 glory, I mean, that feels really easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is one. You've got to get into enemy territory, so it's not without risk. And it's 3 or more friendly fighters, so you have late in the game. It's a gamble.
Yeah, I misread that. I thought it was easier than it was, because I thought it was The one where it's and or. It was an or rather than a dual, which is and, even though I read dual and I said and.
Right.
But yeah, it's a bit tougher, but still 2 glory, which isn't bad.
Craig Sargent mentioned if you played Victorious Duel and Dark Approval, then potentially you could get 5 glory kill if you had if you had them both in hand at once. Of course, that would never happen.
No, but on that one occasion it did. No one would ever believe me. Next one is Glorious Slaughter. Scored an end phase if 3 or more enemy fighters are out of action.
This feels very scoreable.
It could be. It depends though, because I mean, in this season alone, we've only got one warband that has more than 4 fighters in it.
True, but I just feel like these guys are all about killing. Okay, I mean, admittedly, if you come up against Morgok, you might feel a bit sad that you've got this in your hand.
True.
But against other warbands, it's going to be reasonably easy to score. I suppose the other thing is it's interesting where now I was building a deck the other day, and the various multiplier cards. So like set the tempo and the one where you've got adaptive strategy and things like that.
Yeah.
These kind of cards aren't any good for those. So you end up thinking, well, I don't want to include too many of those. And on that basis, there are probably better choices than this one.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. But if you are just going for all out, slaughter your enemy, that could be quite an easy one to score. Hurricane of Violence. Score an end phase for friendly fighters' attack action. Took 2 or more enemy fighters out of action in the preceding action phase. I don't think so.
No, probably not. No.
I mean, if for no other reason, I don't think any of the fighters have a scything attack, so this seems like a bit of a shit one.
And they're putting an action phase. If friendly, it's called an end phase. No, it doesn't have to be a scything attack, though, does it?
Oh, no,
friendly
friendly
fighters. So basically, if you killed 2 people in the previous round, so Macabre got a card like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, that depends. It's similar to Glorious Slaughter. If you've got those 2 in your hand and you come up against the Gits, then you're loving it. If you're playing Morgok or Wormspat, then you're probably sad.
Definitely, your card's a bit more sad. Yeah, it's not a bad one to take actually on balance. I mean, there's a lot of these cards where I'm thinking, I'd take that, and it's
this one is going to get taken. It's already restricted. The Frothgorn equivalent is already restricted.
Supposed to mean after playing a 3rd or subsequent power card. Yeah, I mean, but Despoilers have a version of that, and it's not restricted. So I guess it depends on how powerful they are. They have
one too, do they? Okay, I hadn't.
But Despoilers are shit, so you know.
Do you think they think it's not too bad for the Despoilers to have that glory?
Yeah. In fact, I'm wondering if they're going to start posting out people little stickers with the glory marker on it to put on the Despoilers card.
And Eyes of the Nine.
Yeah, exactly. Here you go. Stick this on a couple of your objectives because, frankly, you need it.
Just put a big sticker that says Surge on them.
Yeah. So that one's a must-have. On the Dark Road, this is a hybrid one. Score if 1 or more surviving friendly fighters each have 3 or more upgrades, or each surviving friendly fighter has 1 or more upgrades. 1 glory.
This is super prevalent now. Purifiers. Yeah. Purifiers have got a version of it. I think there's 2 glory, or is theirs harder to score?
I don't remember.
They've definitely got a version.
This is just 1 or more surviving friendly fighters, so each have 3 or more. So again, the wording on these cards ticks me off a bit because it's 1 or more surviving friendly fighters each have 3 or more upgrades. Does that mean all friendly fighters need to have it?
Well, I think it's been decided that it doesn't mean that, but it is.
Good night, Matt.
This conversation raged over. I can't remember what the not purifying light. Pursuit of Excellence, is it that one? For the Purifiers, it's score this in end phase if 1 or more surviving friendly fighters each have 3 or more upgrades. So it's not a hybrid one, but it's worth 2. So yeah, it's 1 or more. I don't know. I do wish they wouldn't word it that way, but I think that one is there's a universal version of that one, so I think that's going to be around in many decks. It's always risky to take both though, because again, it can cause your hand to brick.
But if you get them both at once, you stick 3 upgrades on someone, you're laughing, or if you pick them up one after the other. So, but yeah, Power of Chaos, Surge, score immediately after a friendly fighter spell, deals damage, takes an enemy fighter out of action. I mean, her spell's not great, but it might be useful. But I always find, but it only has to deal damage. It has to take someone out as well, though. So I'm not sure about that one.
Sorry, I'm just trying to look something up and listen to you. Carry on talking.
Cool. Power of Chaos I'm not 100% sold on, but then I don't tend to play many magic heavy armies because taking somebody out with magic, but it does. I can't remember. I think she uses lightnings when inspired, so it increases the chances a little bit. That was quite tasty
when she's inspired. It's 2 damage.
Oh, okay. So, that's not too bad than that Power of Chaos.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is Ravagers. All I'm going to ravage you. Scoring an end phase if each surviving friendly fire is inspired for 1 glory. I think there's better.
Yes, definitely. I mean, yeah, definitely.
Yogjin says she uses lightning both sides, so that's actually not too bad. Plus, they have a great spell, so we'll come on to that in a moment. So maybe the other one's an even better choice. Raised Realm, scoring an end phase if there are 2 or more desecration tokens on the battlefield. I mean, that seems fairly doable.
Yes.
It's an end phase, 1 glory, but if you're going out for that kind of tactic anyway, it's not necessarily a bad one to have. Are there easier 1 glory end phase cards? Possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
Next one. So that's all of the objectives. I think there's actually maybe like 8 solid ones in there. 8 that I'd really always consider taking with them.
Yeah, there are some good ones.
A good sign.
And if you're doing a magic build, you've got that one, the magic one too. So it's there's some good cards there.
And then moving on to ploys, we've got Eternal Vendetta. You can reroll 1 attack dice to the next attack roll. Not bad, but I think there might be better ones out there.
Yeah.
Eye of the Gods. Ooh, so this is for a leader only.
I love this card.
You can only play it if an enemy leader is out of action. And what's it say? Play this if 1 or more enemy leaders are out of action, which is a bit restrictive. +1 dice or +1 damage, or cleave, or ensnare. And your leader gains range 1 or 2 attack actions. Gain that rule, and it persists. I mean, that feels a bit rubbish to me. But it is a ploy. But
I feel like, I don't know whether there is or not, I'm not bright enough to work it out, but I feel like there's a build of these guys where you basically smash into the enemy territory with your leader, sacrifice it, and then play a couple of these leadery type cards to get... Because the one I've got on the Gaze Workshop screen, they've got Power Reclaimed, where you make, once your leader's out of action, you can make Zerisha a leader. And then you could give her +1 dice, so she could be rolling 3 dice for a spell attack, or even 4, because there's a way of... oh yeah, no, she gets +1 wizard level. So she could be rolling 4 dice with a wizard attack.
There's Morph and Gaz has pointed out that they need to make sure that they FAQ this card to say that your choice is permanent, because it doesn't say that it's permanent. You know, you only make 1 choice and it can't change. I mean, it doesn't say you can change it, but as is the way some people play, they'll argue it.
Okay. Yeah, I do see what you're saying. I kind of feel like it does say pick 1, and then they gain that rule. Yeah. So I think. And that effect persists until the 5 stay out of action. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe people would argue. It's one of those things that I think it doesn't need arguing, but then people do. So.
But then we argued online with people saying, "Well, you picked the board. That doesn't mean you picked a side. You can turn your board over." So people will argue anything.
Yeah. So I think
Flames of.
I mean, I'm in agreement with Joseph and Craig there. I think it's pretty clear.
I agree. Yes, but we're all quite reasonable people. It's full of unreasonable people. Flames of Spite, played during a friendly fighter's attack after the determined success step. If the attack results in a critical hit, it's +1 damage.
Doesn't really seem worth having.
+1 damage on a crit for a ploy.
Yeah, it's not.
Seems
it's never going to make the cut, is it?
No, don't think so. Too many better cards out there.
All Defiance has made the point that only range 1 or 2 attacks get the bonus. So
true.
It wouldn't be any good for the spell attack. Good point.
Yeah. Good point, well made. Mask of Darkness. It's a spell with the swirly. If cast, choose 1 friendly fighter within 3 hexes. Place that fire in the same hex as the objective, as an objective in enemy territory, and give that fire a move token. So it's kind of a bit like a Hidden Paths spell. not bad.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. If only short.
Especially if your opponent long. Yeah.
It's pretty good for your desecration, isn't it?
Yep. Especially if you get longboarded and you suddenly teleport someone over the other side, you can start whacking people over the head.
But it is swirlies. They're not that reliable.
That's true. That is true. It's a level 2, possibly up to level 3.
Yeah.
Depending if you go heavy on magic or not, I guess. Power Reclaimed next. So this is the one where you can turn Zarsha into the leader.
Yeah.
Gives them +1 level, +1 wound, and makes them the leader. Which, if you're going for that sort of approach, could be quite good.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those cards that you kind of want in certain circumstances, like when your leader's dead. But actually, I don't know how often I take it because I really like the idea of it. But unless you've got a way of getting through your deck really quickly, then you might find that you've either got it at the beginning and then it's bricking your hand, or your leader's not dead anyway. So I don't know. It's one of those cards. In certain games, it's going to be a match winner, but how often will you actually get to use it?
Yeah, definitely. The next one is Ravaging Advance. Each friendly fighter is not in enemy territory up to 1 hex to push each friendly fighter not in enemy territory up to 1 hex towards enemy territory. I mean, it's good early game, crap late game.
Yeah. I mean, it all shifts towards that kind of getting into your opponent's territory, doesn't it? I feel like it's not going to make the cut against something like Distraction or Sidestep or something like that, just because it's got the restriction that if you get into your opponent's half, it's a useless card.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's okay, but there's better. There's a lot more better than okay cards out there.
Yeah.
This is a must-have, I think, in every... This will always be in your deck. This one, pick one objective token in the same hex as a friendly fighter and desecrate that objective.
Yeah, I think so.
And that fighter is inspired.
Yeah.
It's just always going to have... yes, something is beeping. Paint back and roll.
Sorry, it's me.
Machine.
It's me. I'm beeping. It's my washing machine. Do you want me to go and turn it off, or shall I leave it on?
So Ritual Desecration is a must-have for everyone forever. Spurred on, leader only card. Place off a friendly fighter's leader's move. Choose another friendly fighter, and that fighter makes some 1 move action. Really, that's not bad.
If you are trying to hammer into your opponent's half, it's really good because you can bring somebody up at the same time, and of course it adds support as well, which is really important now in the game.
I don't know if your microphone's lost its connection a little bit. You've gone very, very quiet all of a sudden.
I'm trying to do 2 things at once. So I'm not very good at that.
There we go.
Is that better?
We're back. Yeah, I don't know what you did.
Okay.
Spurred on looks pretty. I mean, it can only be used on your leader, but if you get it early game, that could be really helpful to shove someone up to help with an attack as well, part of a charge.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, as Wolfman Gaz just said, it doesn't say not part of a super action.
No. So I think it's a solid card. If you're going for all out aggro and you put them 2 near the front, charge in, bring them both up. I mean, it's a risk, obviously, but yeah, it's a fun one.
and I think definitely as well, it's almost a must-have. I think almost, depending, but depends on your build, I guess. Whispers of Chaos, another spell. Another swirly, but if cast, choose 1 enemy fighter within 3 hexes and push them up to 1 hex. Then either deal them 1 damage or give them a move token. Yeah. I mean that could be quite useful.
Yeah, I think it's a good card. It's a powerful spell, mitigated by the fact that it's focuses you require. But I think it's a good card.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got a 50-50 chance on 1 dice to score it, to cast it.
Right, it just never seems to come off.
No. Rack the land. Next, pick 1 objective token in an empty hex within 1 hex of the friendly fighter. Desecrate that objective. I mean,
yeah.
Why wouldn't you? With that card and the other card, you could potentially desecrate two objectives in your half and score that other objective, which gives you 2 glory in a round.
Definitely. And that's without even moving.
Yeah, exactly. The Blasphemous Cuirass. But they're a target of... so this is the first upgrade as well.
Okay.
When they're a target of an attack, if there's 1 or more shields in the defense roll, reduce the damage by 1. So make them Nurgle.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I mean it's a good card. I don't know whether you'd have it. I don't know whether it would. I feel like there's going to be many Arena Mortis cards that are going to trump this for these guys.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say no to it, would you? But whether it would make your top 10, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the trouble. There's a lot of cards that look good on paper, but then you start comparing them.
Yeah.
Blazing Rune Shield. Spells cannot deal damage to this fighter. I don't think I'd ever bother with that one.
I don't think so. Unless the meta changes significantly, that spells become a thing more than they are. I mean, if Vortimer suddenly becomes the big thing of Chasm, then maybe people will start taking this card. But until then, I don't think so.
Yeah, and it flips the fingers, flips the bird a little bit to Avalon. But aside from that, it's not massively great, so don't see that being taken ever.
No. I don't.
Bolstered by Hate. +1 wound.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be in decks when Great Fortitude and Great Strength aren't around.
Yeah, if we don't get a Great Fort or a Great Strength come the next Season 5, yeah, that's definitely going to be in every deck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Conquerors Cloak, +2 move if they're making a charge. Yeah, you're nearly always going to be charging, aren't you, with these guys?
Yeah, I just feel like probably. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd make it, but maybe it would. Maybe it will. I feel like you're probably better taking something like +1 move if you're going to take it. Just a bit more utility. I don't know. With spectral wings and things, I suppose it mitigate. You know, perhaps you could say we'll free up a ploy slot. Can't even say it.
Ploy slot.
Yeah, for to have that instead. But does have to be a charge. Could be good for the wizard. Charging, give them a huge threat range with the spell. And then for things like Bold Conquest.
Yeah, and Mario Esteban says both warbands look awesome, but he thinks he'll have to get the vampires. Why not both?
Well, yeah,
they both look awesome, frankly.
Yeah, I do actually really like these. I was actually, when I was looking through the cards before we came on tonight, I was thinking, because we've been a little bit flat about the game and a little bit kind of, there are things that we perhaps haven't liked about how GW have handled some things, but I think I was looking at it, this game is such a great game and these models are amazing and the mechanics are really good.
I think it's less the game that's getting us down, it's more lockdown.
I think that's what it is, and you end up kind of blaming the kids. No, you end up blaming other things for your misery. But I was just thinking, actually, this to sort of almost like take my head out of the bucket kind of thing and just think and actually look around and go, actually, this actually is such a great game that we're in the middle of here. And these new cards are really a lot of fresh sort of injection of mechanics and some interesting bits and pieces going on. So I'm really excited to get to play with them when we finally do.
Yep. Next one, Desecrated Gauntlet. Reaction off this fight's move action, push one adjacent enemy fighter 1 hex. I can't see you ever taking that one, really. Roza's got to go. See you, Roza.
I don't know. I was wondering about that. Actually, I think it's quite a nice card. Although, again, it might not meet the top 10. But how often do you make a charge that, if only they were there, I could I could get them in a lethal hex, but I can't. And then you just charge to where you want to be. And what I don't quite know is at what point do you, if you declare a charge, can you move to where you like, and then you have to make an attack action? I can't remember how that works.
Yeah, because this is after this fight's move action, push one adjacent enemy fighter 1 hex. So they do have to be adjacent to you. So you can do the move, push them 1 hex, and then whack them in the face.
Yeah. So you don't have to charge to be in range at the point, do you? So exactly. Push guy onto an objective to desecrate. There are all sorts of options. I did wonder about that one, but I kind of thought probably most of the time they'd be on an objective. Not necessarily all the time, but I definitely thought it had because you've got knockback as well, haven't you? The leader's got knockback, don't they? Yeah. So I kind of felt you could probably get them into a really juicy place and maybe knock them through 1 or 2 lethal hexes.
True. Yeah. I guess it's trying to not think about all the cards that we already know about.
Yes.
And then trying to think of how you build it with the new cards coming instead.
Yeah.
Zarshia, restricted upgrade, reroll 1 dice for this fight's casting rolls and spell attacks. I mean, possibly if you're going for heavy magic, it might help to resist, not flashback, but backlash.
Well, backlash, because she also has to be successful, doesn't she? Otherwise she suffers backlash.
Good point.
So you kind of feel like this would be a good card for that, but though isn't there an upgrade that just stops you getting backlash, which might be a better option.
I think so.
Might be a better option if you wanted to stop this. But this, of course, makes her two damage attack more efficient.
Yeah, that's true. Grudging defense, next one. Fighters on guard. I mean, it's good to stop you getting pushed back.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that element of guard now that you can't be pushed back, which is always handy. I mean, getting the extra dodge on your dice as well is kind of neither here nor there for the most part if you're already rolling shields, but every little helps.
Yeah.
Not a bad one, possibly very useful. And then we come on to one of the dirtiest warband specific upgrades that ever existed.
I love this card.
What the hell is this card doing in here? Fuck me. 3 range, 2 hammers, 2 damage. What?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
Yeah, it's...
You've got to take it for the 3 damage, surely. The 3 range, sorry.
I feel like 3... Yeah. You get a couple of extra dice on that. I don't know if there's any ways of getting any extra damage on it, because it's a range 3 attack. But that...
There was one that gave you +1 damage if you rolled a crit. Maybe.
Oh yeah, we kind of poo-pooed that card, but yeah, together possibly. With these, it could be all right, couldn't it? What was that?
But just the range 3 helps so much when you're if you've only got 1, 2 or 3 fighters left, and you don't want to have to make a charge action with them first. You can use that to get a ranged attack off before you actually then make your move with them later on.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely got potential.
Yeah. Next one we've got is Ruminous Might, +1 damage. I mean, it's +1 strength, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great strength. If we lose great strength along with great fortitude, that will become a must-have card.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Unearthly Charisma.
I love the name of that card. It's one of my favourite named cards. I've always liked the word charisma, and unearth is a pretty great word too. So I think I love that.
Yeah. Leader only card, but +1 dice to range 1 attacks if they're within 2. Other friendly fighters range 1 attacks if they're within 2 hexes of this fighter. That makes it slightly less so, but at the same time, some of your fighters are rolling 3 swords, aren't they? So 4 swords.
Yeah, again, it's one of those cards that if you're working in a unit, then it's really solid. The only thing I think about it is that later in the game you're a bit likely to be more spread out and less likely to have people around you, so it's perhaps less good. It'd be brilliant if you paired it with that card where you could move to somebody else up with them, and then but I don't know how. I don't know actually how good it would be. I don't know, isn't that a leader restricted card as well?
It is. Yeah.
So it's actually,
it is.
Yeah. So it wouldn't work that way around.
So jumping onto the next page, let me just roll back up to the top of the screen. I did not. I'm just gonna. Good thing about Underworld's DB is you can actually filter it to just show the cards that came in a pack.
Really?
So let me just filter it on the cards that came in Khagra's Ravagers. So page 2, what have we got? So we've got Arcane Cleansing. Is that? Oh, we're on the bottom. Let me just check we're in the right place.
Cleansing.
Yes. So I think we're now on to the universals.
Ooh.
Arcane Cleansing. So this one is
So
universal objective.
Okay.
After a fight spell removes 2 or more counters from any fighter. I mean, removes 2 counters. I don't know how much that's going to happen.
I just realised. I think the Games Workshop site has them in reverse. Yeah, it does. It has them in reverse alphabetical order.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. I just realised it's got them in reverse alphabetical order.
Just weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure how much removing tokens is going to be, but it's a surge.
Yeah, I had a quick read through of Awan's overview, and he didn't rate this, especially not at the moment. Maybe if hunger becomes more of a thing, and there's ways
that's
adding
true.
and removing them. But at the moment, he said he doesn't feel like it's worth it.
But then we had cards before in Beastgrave like that, didn't we? Where it's like, don't ever take this card because we don't know, or at least don't take it at the minute because we don't know what it'll key off, and then later on we have loads of other cards like, take this.
Ilthari's about the only one that removes counters reliably. I don't think it.
So that's Arcane Cleansing, and not for the minute. Magical Mark, slightly better version than Magical Kevin. Score this in the end phase of a friendly wizard's holding an objective. I mean, that's pretty easy.
Yes, yeah, definitely. If you're playing Fecula, maybe, or
Gits.
Gits, yeah. Oh, those are, but yeah, Gits It doesn't tend to be the one who gets an objective, but he could do. And obviously, not Iltharis. Well, they might do, but
Iltharis guns.
But I didn't mean Iltharis. I meant the new ones, Myari.
Oh, Myaris, yeah.
Yeah, sitting on objectives, not moving very much, seems to be their shtick. So I feel like they could be scoring this. It's an
old Vorti. Pitiable Death. It's a surge hybrid. Score immediately after a friendly fighter's attack takes an enemy arrow action if the enemy fighter had one or more hunger counters or the enemy fighter was in a starting hex.
It's pretty rubbish until that last bit.
Yeah, I mean, depends, but that could be good. I mean, you can always distract people into starting hexes, can't you? The hunger counter one is a question of how often that's going to happen, but yeah, the starting hex one could be...
Depending on warband, if you're playing aggro warband, first attack, smack. Aggro warband against large warband fighters. Somebody just said 6 or 7 or 4 warband fighters. Basically stuffed.
And it's a surge as well, so it's a slightly trickier, but it's almost your advancing strike back again. Yeah, it's actually both, because it doesn't say it has to be their starting hex.
No, you can just push them into your own starting hex later on.
Yeah, so that's actually, I think it's quite a solid card, and it's a hybrid, which is useful for that other score X amount of hybrids cards.
Yeah, it's a good one. Some people made the very good point that the magical mark is very good for the curse breakers.
Oh yeah. Starvation Scroll immediately after an activation if there's one or more enemy fighters who each have 3 or more hunger counters.
Can't see it at the moment.
Vampires maybe,
but it's enemy fighters.
Oh yes.
So I can't see it at the moment.
Yeah, no, I can't see that one really ever being used, to be honest, unless hunger counters really become a massive thing. So, the hunt advances. I did say that right, yeah.
Where?
3 or more friendly fighters in enemy territory, and each friendly fighter in enemy territory is a hunter.
Rippers like this card.
Yeah, but it's an end phase, so there's plenty of opportunity to turn that 3 into 2.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Yeah, Rippers don't like it that much, do they? Who's got the most hunters? What about the Grimwatch or the Wild Hunt?
Grimwatch don't have many. Wild Hunt possibly have some, but again, they still don't have many, and it's getting 3 fighters into there as well. That seems like a tall ask for 2 glory that's maybe not worth it.
There are ways of making extra hunters, aren't there? Which I think will be coming into the game more.
Grashracks have the problem that you run somebody into enemy territory and then they die. And then you run somebody else into enemy territory.
You need it to be a surge. Surge in retrospect. I did have 3 hunters in enemy territory in this game.
At some point in the past, there were 3 hunters in your territory. Turns tables. My, how the turns tables turned. Score immediately after... Yeah. Score immediately after a friendly fighter's friendly quarry attack action takes an enemy fighter out of action. I mean, that's not a bad card.
Depends how many quarries you've got. Good if you play Hrothgorn.
True, yeah. I mean, it definitely makes Hrothgorn slightly less good, because you take this card and then you just go after one of the...
There's a hunted card as well in the spoilers, wasn't there? Which I don't think was Surge. I suppose it just depends on how you're doing. I guess people do play a lot of quarry cards. I can see it being useful, but again, it's not so good. It's not so good at the beginning of the game if you're playing people who don't have innate quarries.
Yeah. I mean, there's not many people who have an innate quarry. I mean, this one's great for the Dread Pageant, because you've got Slake Slash, who's a quarry and a hunter straight off the bat.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad one. I quite like that one as a surge. I can see a lot of people taking that one.
Definitely see it's a must-have in the Dread Pageant, isn't it?
Yeah, and like Craig Sargent said, he's got a Moloch deck, which makes him a quarry every game, because there are so many really good upgrades to make him a quarry.
Yeah.
So this kind of card is fantastic to combine with those. Unafraid. Score immediately with an end phase if each surviving friendly fights within 2 hexes of 1 or more enemies. It's not too bad, especially if you've got a small fighter warband and you're on high aggro alert.
Each surviving friendly fights. That I feel like in small warbands, especially aggro ones, are going to be thank you very much.
More achievable. I like they've done a few cards like this now where you sit here and you think that's much easier with a small warband than it is with a big warband, and I like that. It makes me feel like they're starting to give your Worm Spat and people like that a few more options.
Yeah, rippers. I mean, surely we have to consult with Set the Tempo Matt, who's a rippers player, I think. But whether he'd play that in his deck, but I feel like that's a good rippers card.
Yeah, because I mean, you're obviously never going to take this card if you're Grimwatch or if you're Thorns or things like that, but it's almost a must-have for those small 3-fighter warbands, which I suddenly really like, especially if once you've lost a fighter or two, suddenly you've got one fighter. It's like, well, this is easy.
Yeah,
I've just got to have them next to you or near you. So that I like that. I like that card a lot. Unassailable, a hybrid. Your leader is the only surviving leader, or you have the primacy token.
Interesting one, that one. I mean,
almost always for the primacy token aspect, surely.
Good for Mollog.
Yeah, true. Or Hrothgorn.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much you can take for primacy, right? In an aggressive deck.
Yeah, I think most decks are going to have the primacy. So yes, I think that's where. And again, it's hybrid. So there's I can't remember what the name of the upgrade. The objective is, but there's a lot of hybrid cards that center around the primacy token that are quite easy to get one way or the other, and they're all hybrids. So then you can cash it in at the end for I can't remember what it's called. I think it might be adaptive strategy.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And as Joseph just said, it's not third end phase either.
There aren't very many third end phase cards now. It's almost like they've done away with them. There was one earlier we were talking about, but there aren't very many left in the game, I don't think.
Yeah, we didn't have Conquest or Denial or anything like that come in the base set.
Obviously they are still in, but but there's not. I don't know whether they're going to do away with them.
Yeah, maybe they will. Maybe come season 5. That's a whole different video that we can to record to.
And we already done it.
Panic and Discord. Oh, you might have done
that. We've already done that video.
So next one is Underdog. I think I'm always going to take this card. I don't know what it's about, but I feel like it's made for me. An opponent has the primacy token, or each opponent has scored 3 or more objective cards more than me. Yeah, I'm definitely taking that one.
If you're playing objective warbands, an objective deck, and then I feel like this is a good card because you're likely to not have the primacy token at the end of any given turn, and therefore you're likely to score it.
Only risk you've got. Sorry, go on.
I don't know whether it's worth it for the second half, when it could happen, and it will. Well, I mean, it will bring you back into the game.
It's not impossible, especially if you go second. Your opponent scores all of his 3 objectives, and then suddenly, you've scored 3 more than me.
Yeah. So I feel like that could have place, but I think it will need careful planning. But I think if you're not planning on playing any primacy stuff at all, or not going for it, and assuming your opponent will, then I think it's a good call to play that.
Yeah. Arrested Dominance next. Surge and Hybrid. Score immediately after you gain the primacy token from an opponent or an activation if your warband holds an objective that another warband held at the start of the round. I mean, take it for the primacy, right? If you're going full offensive.
Yeah, I think so. And again, it is a hybrid, but it's that primacy thing is going to be the most likely that you'll score it with.
So you do have to gain it from someone.
And see what all the hybrid objectives are. I don't know whether that one is worth having because your opponent's got to have it.
Yeah, so I don't think it's worth it because your opponent does have to have it first.
So
I'm not sure that one's worth it.
That's tougher.
Beast Trail. So we're on to the ploys now. Choose a friendly. This is it.
Maybe that's why they did them in reverse alphabetical order, because in the Games Workshop thing, it's right at the end. It's like, oh my god, right at the
end. Beast Trail. So it's basically hidden paths. Take a hunter or quarry on an edge hex with no move or charge tokens. Place them on another edge hex.
But it's
not a bad card.
It's biased hidden path, which I don't like about it. I feel like it's it's one of these things. I know we've talked about it before, but you've got warbands that need a boost who don't have access to the hunter or quarry mechanic other than through upgrades and such, and they can't use this. Whereas the last thing any Shadespire warband really needs is Hrothgorn. Cropping up
just suddenly appearing. Hello. I'm here to smash your face in.
Hrothgorn.
Yeah, I mean, there is that. But of course, if Hrothgorn's there, then you can also do the same thing with your guys.
Well, that is true. That is true.
And I do feel that, yeah. But I think that maybe they're going to start using the Hunter Quarry mechanic a lot more to phase out the Season 1 warbands, because you're just not going to take them as much because they're just not as good.
But I do love the card. I think it's
a nice card.
I think it's a good card. It's a good card usually end of a turn, isn't it? Fourth activation or third activation power third activation power step of your opponent, and then over the back and smack.
Well, smash. Next one is Colossal Blow. Thank you very much. Range 1 or 2 attack, gets knocked back 2, and if they can't be driven back the full distance, I'll take any blow I can get. Gain knockback 2, and if they can't be driven back the full distance, deal 1 damage to the enemy fighter.
I think this
is not bad, but I'm not sure.
No, it's crap because it's knockback. I don't. Apart from you might be able to get some damage in, I don't think it's worth it. Personally, as usual, we talked about this on the live stream on Tuesday. Most of the attacks with knockback have too much damage to make it worth having.
Yeah, that's true. But this gives you the knockback, so it gives you the knockback as well.
Yes, I know, but fair enough.
So you could give it to a damage 1 fighter.
Yeah.
So there is that option.
Sorry, yes, I'm talking at cross purposes. But somebody says they're going to miss Begors and Garrix. Of course, Begors are in quite a good place at the moment. Other content providers have put them very high up in the tier system at the moment. So I guess that's because aggro is in such a good place. What happens if Colossal Blow hits Sarkis? I don't think anything happens, does it? Because he can't be driven back.
Correct. Yeah. If you can't be driven back, it doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful and watch out for those things.
And I think that's still a mistake that they didn't update, because people being on guard, which actually makes that card even less good, doesn't it? But people being on guard can't be driven back, so knockback doesn't work on them. But I feel like knockback ought to override that.
I agree. I think the knockback should be a thing where you can knock people back even when they're on guard. But I also feel that knockback should work even if the attack fails, or if it's a draw, for example, or even if you fail it, because it at least gives you some ability to maneuver people. Something like that.
It's hard to say. Maybe, It wouldn't make sense though, I guess. But I don't know.
Maybe not if you miss, but maybe if it's a tie, so you don't do damage, but you still drive them back or something like that. I just feel like something like that would make knockback worth it.
Yeah, it's not cleave, is it?
No, exactly. It ain't your cleaver, you're in snares. It's not one of them. No. Energy drain. Choose a fighter in the same hex as an objective. Give a move token to that fighter and a hunger token to each fighter within 2 hexes.
Well, we don't know enough about the.
Hunger
having said that, we don't know enough about the hunger mechanic. That's probably irrelevant. It's the giving the move token that's crucial, isn't it? I mean that transfixing's there.
It is a bit like that. Yeah, gives them a move token, so it stops them doing stuff. Which is that's really good for that. But they do have to be on an objective.
Yeah.
So that does limit them.
But there are ways and means, aren't there? Yes.
There are. Yeah. I mean, you could distract Mollog onto an objective and then play that, and it's like, up yours, Mollog.
Yeah,
and if you're a vampire, I can't work out, and we haven't seen the details yet on them, but I don't know whether vampires want hunger counters or not. No. But if they do, then this would be awesome for that.
I wonder whether they don't want them, but will also inspire them or something like that. I don't know. When they go hungry, they get toothy, don't they?
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
Bitey. Next one we've got is Feign Strength. It's already 20 past 10, so we probably don't want to dwell too much longer on this.
Especially
Feign Strength, gain a primacy token. I mean, that's quite... Oh, this is the one where you gain the primacy token, and then at the end of the action you lose it. And you can't get it back for the rest of the round. It's handy if you've got lots of surges.
I can't quite get my head around these. Valentin says, what, Thursday night live? Yeah, Valentin, we decided we were going to record this, and we thought, well, actually, we might as well do it live.
Yeah. We figure we're going to talk shit, so it's not really matter if we polish it or not. So we might as well just do it live and get it out there now.
Feign Weakness.
Feign Strength.
Sorry, Feign Weakness feels slightly better to me than Feign Strength, but I struggle to get my head around them.
Yeah, I mean, Feign Weakness is good because if you have the primacy token, you can give it to your opponent, get a glory, then possibly smash someone in the face and get it back straight away anyway.
Yeah, maybe score that other card for gaining it off an opponent. We talked about.
That'd be a real FU, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Hope Sink, which is a trap. I think we talked about this one as well. play after an enemy fighter's move. That fighter is a quarry and has -1 defense, and it persists until they're taken out of action. That could be quite nasty.
Yeah, it's definitely got potential. I mean, there are some two defense fighters. Makes them a quarry. I don't know whether that's good or bad these days.
Good for taking Hrothgorn down a peg or two.
It's not Slick Rock, is it? I love the flavour of that card. I love the picture and I love the text. And I like where the traps are going. They seem to be slightly better executed than the poisons to me so far.
I think poison seems dead.
Yeah.
There haven't been any. Dour Kragan kind of just reminds me of Eeyore.
Yeah, I suppose.
Eeyore Kragan.
Dour Kragan.
Just miserable.
No, basically he's going to talk like that now in our videos.
He is. Next one's Hunter's Aspect. Yeah. It's not his fault. He's been under a lot of stress recently.
You know what? I'm the hero.
Hunter's Aspect. A spell, a lightning, so you've got 2/3 chance of casting. If it's cast, the caster is a hunter. You can reroll 1 dice in their attack rolls for attack actions that target a quarry.
Yeah.
It's handy with the other one as well.
I feel like this card, I don't know, I want this card to be good. I have no idea whether it will be. I want to play it with Vortimus just to score the thingy one. The Master of Many Paths, whatever it is. And to inspire Kacharik at the same time.
That's true. That's not bad for that. And Craig Silence just said it. I think just before.
Because I've been tinkering with a Eyes deck for our ship clash that we were going to do, and Pate Battle rolls off. See you, Ed. And I would like, I kind of felt like actually there weren't very many at the time I was doing it. There weren't very many reliable spells that you actually wanted to take. But that one I think I put in.
Yeah, that's not bad. Next one we've got is Macabre Feast. What have we got here? Reaction: play after a friendly fighter's attack that takes an adjacent enemy out of action. Remove any number of hunger counters from the friendly fighter and heal that many wounds. I mean, maybe that'll be good for the vampires. Kill someone, remove hunger counters, and get wounds back.
It doesn't seem as good as that one that's doing the rounds with Mollog at the moment. The I can't remember what it's called. Resistance, Furious Resistance, is it? Where you basically roll
a
number of light dice, spell dice. Doesn't seem as good as that.
Yeah.
But the hunger mechanic isn't enough. Whatchamacallit at the moment. It's not been fleshed out enough. Yeah. No pun intended.
Ferocious Resistance. Craig Sargent says, I think Ferocious Resistance is a disgusting card to have for any big.
I don't like it.
I don't like the fact that it goes with many other cards to promote that kind of one fighter, all legs, one basket scenario. Which we just don't.
You've got an extra 2 or 3 wounds on Mollog, and it's just disgusting. You just give up and go home.
Especially when he can have like 9 or 10 with very little sort of trouble,
and then heal them up.
So the next thing we've got, Shocking Ferocity. What's this one? It's a reaction: play during an attack action that targets an adjacent friendly fighter. Deal 1 damage to the attacker. It's alright for a bit of ping damage, maybe. Yeah,
it's alright. It's an adjacent friendly fighter, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure that's that great.
Yeah,
might be better for your undead warbands or people who are going to play a bit more.
Presumably, it's an adjacent. Playing this during an attack action that targets an adjacent friendly fighter. So it's a range 1 attack action on your fight one of your fighters.
It's a range 1 damage.
Yeah, so it's like it's a bit like the Exploding Bones one, isn't it?
Yeah. Valentin points out the wounds on the other one that you feel are predictable, just not the attack roll. That is a good point.
That is true.
Depends on where you want to put your gamble, really, isn't it?
I am.
Storm of Foreboding. 2 lightnings, +1 dice to friendly fighters' attack actions. This spell persists till the end of the round. That's not bad.
It's good. It's good on a level 3, whatever she's called.
Yep, Zartia, I think.
They go up to four dice, but it's 2 lightnings. So it's quite hard to cast.
Yeah, a little bit tougher. I mean, you know that when you roll to cast this, you're going to roll 2 swirlies.
Yeah. Sharik Claws. Shriek.
They're a quarry. Their range 1 and 2 attack actions have cleave. If they're a hunter, this fighter's attack actions have cleave.
Yeah, after you've cast that spell, Vortimus likes this on his spell attack action.
I'm lost. This fighter is a quarry.
Yeah.
And if this fighter is a quarry, Their range 1 and 2 attack actions have cleave. If this fighter is a hunter, this fighter's attack actions have cleave.
Yeah, so their range attack actions have cleave as well. They're the range 3 attack.
Oh, I see.
So if you had a hunter wizard, their spell attack action would be have cleave on it. So yes, if you can cast Hunter's Aspect on Vortimus, say, or the lady here, and then use that. Don't know how good it is, but yeah.
Greg Sargent's put out the Hellfire Sword.
Cleave on range 3, as Valentin just said, is pretty good.
Yep. And also, I mean, you've got Slake Slash. He's a quarry and a hunter at the same time. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Dominant Defender. Oh god, there's loads of text on this one. If they're on an objective, they're on guard. If they roll defense dice includes no successes, discard the primacy token. So that's a bit of a downside. After an attack action in which this fighter rolls one or more crits, gain the primacy token. Valentin's just pointed out Hrothgorn would then have cleave on his crossbow attack.
Yeah, that's good for him.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that is good for him.
Dominant Defender might be useful. I mean, you put it on Bat Squig or something, flapping around with.
He can't hold an objective.
3 defense dice.
He can't hold an objective.
Oh, that's a good point.
Snurk.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. I'm thinking about the reaction after an attack action, which this fighter rolls one or more crits, gain the primacy token. But you could use it on Snurk as well.
Yeah, an attack action. Yes. So so I was thinking it was defense. Oh yeah. I was thinking it was defense. How bizarre. Okay. Yeah. I think I just assumed it was defense rolls because the card's called Dominant Defender. It is.
It's if you put it on Snurk or
the defense roll,
or whatever.
Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, that's not where you'd have to be holding an objective.
Yeah. So
Feral Symbiote.
Snurk can.
No, but you don't have to be holding an objective to use it. This is after an attack action in which this fighter's defense roll includes one or more crits.
Ignore me. Yeah. That's an interesting card. I think.
It's a funky one.
Yeah.
Could have some uses there.
Yeah.
Feral Symbiote. I definitely think, just going back to Dominant Defender, that almost seems like a must on Snurk. Puts him on guard.
Valentin says, how long before they start putting text on the back of cards? I suppose the Desecration token almost is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting that way. The Vampire character cards as well just looks like really busy because there's like 3 different effects going on.
PTO.
Feral Symbiote. Sorry?
PTO at the bottom.
If primacy is discarded, does that mean it's out of the round? No, I think primacy just means that you lose possession of it and it goes back to neither player having control of it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
There's nothing mentioned in the book about primacy tokens being removed for the round.
No, I don't think so.
Feral Symbiote, +1 damage to their range 1 attacks. After their activation, give the fighter 1 hunger counter. If the fighter has 3 or more hunger counters, deal 1 damage to the fighter. That doesn't seem like a good thing at all.
No, not really. I mean, it's +1 damage, but there's quite a lot of those cards around, aren't there? So it's quite a long way down the list of ones you take, unless the hunger mechanic becomes a thing, which it's not at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So no, thank you. Geomancer's Gauntlet. We've talked about this one before briefly, but flip each feature token within 1 hex. That could be. I mean, that could almost completely f up Khagra's chances of inspiring.
Yeah, but it is an action, so
it is.
Chances of you using it. You don't. I think the only way you take this is if you were playing Feed the Beastgrave.
Yeah, it's good for that. Yeah. That's true.
Terrifying on if you were playing Feed the Beastgrave with somebody like the Eyes of the Nine, when they've got the various cards that they can teleport about. So you can like do this, teleport, do it again, teleport somewhere else. It's got potential.
Flip your opponent the bird.
It's got potential.
That definitely does. Mundane Razor is next. Range 1, 2, damage 2.
It's a bizarre card.
Hammers. It's a bit weird, isn't it? After the attack roll, if you rolled 1 or more successes, pick 1 Persisting Gambit and discard it. I mean, if Persisting Gambit's become more of a thing,
suggestion they might, because the Lizard Men had a card that got rid of persisting effects as well, didn't it? But at the moment, they're not. It's not worth having.
We've seen a couple, haven't we? Persisting things do this, and then this persists to the end of the round, but nothing that's that good that I'd probably want to keep.
Nothing that's stamping itself on the meta yet. And
no, exactly.
Mundane Razor. It's a funny name. because it's not that mundane, really, is it? Because it's got power to end more than lives. It's not
very
mundane,
much
Razor.
not mundane at all. That's pretty fucking weird, Razor, rather than mundane.
Mischievous Spirits, then Geomancer Gauntlet. 3 objectives turned into lethals.
Or at least 2, because your opponent might move one away if they're seeing it coming. But yeah.
Yeah, people talk about the Wormspat Cypher cards. I kind of know they exist, but I haven't really seen anybody use them. But then I haven't really played very many games against anybody other than Pete. But Pete didn't use them, and I don't think the Wormspat builds. I don't think particularly use them, do they?
Even in the games we've watched,
if I'm wrong,
in the tournaments, looking at the decks that people have taken, they haven't really taken many of the cycle cards.
No.
So, I mean, they're there, but they're just shit, and no one takes them. So. I guess we have to qualify what we mean by there aren't any really good cards that persist at the minute. Really spectacularly obvious.
There's not much persistence that persist in the meta. Talking of meta, this is a Mechanolith. Wonder if that was a meta reference.
All of these extra little words, like these little keywords and stuff, are doing my head in.
I assume there's going to be some sort of collection of things if you've got all the Mechanoliths or something.
Yeah, it might be, because isn't there a card in the Cow Elves deck where they've got something? They've got
elemental cards.
Yeah, that does. It's like that, and they probably. Well, we haven't seen any evidence
that's just for them.
For anything else.
John Grant says he didn't realise we were on. Well, we did advertise it a little bit, but it was a fairly last-minute decision to come on tonight. The Ravening Stone, I don't think very many people will take it, but again, it's dependent on what the hunger mechanic becomes, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, if the vampires especially want hunger, then that could be good. Well, it's good either way for the vampires, because if they don't want the hunger tokens, you can remove 1 hunger token from each fighter.
Yeah.
And it's at the end of each action phase, so it's not too bad.
None of the pictures of vampires. I don't know whether that tells us anything, but none of the vampires on the picture.
It's a good point. I haven't seen many pictures of the other warbands, and it seems like they've got a bit smarter this time around of keeping the artwork on the cards relating to the warbands that have come out or are coming out in that release.
That is true.
So
that is true. There actually aren't any vampires, are there, in any of these? So yeah, that's a good point, Pete. So
there's lizardmen.
Yeah, almost because they probably were meant to come out as a pair originally, weren't they?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. John Grant's been teaching all day. Frankly, John.
We've got reading about Crisis Protocol, building miniatures. Well, that's a good way to spend the evening. Right, Pete, we need to wrap this up because nature called.
Yeah, okay. Well, do you want to go? And I'll chat
finish,
for a minute.
I'm just telling you, it's becoming pressing. It's the problem with doing these things live.
Rod of the Arch Mage is a upgrade restricted to wizards or wizards. After they have a gambit spell or attack action, take 1 or more enemy fighters out of action, gain the primacy token.
Could be good if you're doing a magic build.
Not bad for Averon, I guess.
Yeah, Averon
maybe Vortimus.
The new wizard likes it if she can stay alive long enough. Yeah, I quite like that one.
Yeah, true.
Scavenged armor. This is pretty brutal, especially for modern players.
Yeah.
Turning out and putting that on or Frothgorn.
You cannot give this upgrade to a fighter in your territory, though.
No, I know, but you just move to another territory and add a wound.
Yeah,
and put them on guard.
When you give this upgrade to a fighter, give the fighter 1 guard token and +1 wound. Not bad. Not bad. Sawtooth Javelin, so it's one of the new Sawtooth weapons. Range 3. Oh, it's range 3, though. 3 swords, 1 damage. +1 damage when you make during the charge action.
Make your own Jorgathra.
Yeah, it is a bit like that. Yeah. Reroll 1 of the dice. It also makes you a hunter. So, it's not bad. I'm not sure, but maybe it might be worth taking.
Yeah.
Peter Van den Bosch is heading off. Good night, sir. Good night. Peter Van den Bosch is crunching numbers and accounting tomorrow. Good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
Terror Shield is next.
Terror Shield.
They become a quarry after an enemy fighter's move action made during this fighter's activation. If the fighter is adjacent to this fighter and this fighter is a how many times?
Roll 1 magic
and
dice.
They're a quarry. Roll 1 magic dice on a lightning. This fighter has +1 defense. So basically, if someone moves next to you, roll a dice, and on a lightning, you get a +1 defense. Mario spans off. Good night, Mario. Thank you for joining us as well.
Yeah. Good night, Mario. Yeah, it doesn't seem Terror Shield doesn't seem like one I would take.
I mean, it gives you +1 defense on a lightning.
I suppose you can use it more than once,
charges you, but yeah.
The reactions are from
useful.
enemy fighters' move action. I don't know. There's a couple of interactions of the new card that would stop now. Like you could use it when somebody tried to use the new new card that the Ravagers have to move two people up.
Yeah.
But I can't see that really being a massive reason for taking it.
Although that one's not a reaction, I don't think. I think it's just after a move.
Oh,
action.
is it? Okay.
So possibly
must be a reaction, though, surely. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Pretty sure it doesn't say reaction. We can go back and have a quick look in a minute, but I don't think it does.
I'm looking.
Terror Shield. So that's Terror Shield. Not really convinced on that. That was the last one. Terror Shield. Not convinced on that one. So end on a bit of a damp squeak. Let's go back and look.
Spurred on reaction. Play this after a friendly leader's move action. Spurred on. It's called. Yeah. So it is a reaction.
Oh, okay.
I think it has to be to interrupt. Otherwise, you couldn't interrupt.
That's a ploy, isn't it?
It was it was an upgrade. Well, that one was an upgrade.
No, spurred on's. Sorry, yeah, spurred on's a ploy. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not thinking of spurred on. I'm thinking of the one where after you move somebody, you can then push someone one hit before you attack them. I'm just trying to think what that one was.
That one?
Desecrated Gauntlet. No. Yes.
Yeah, that is a reaction. That is a reaction,
and it is a reaction. It is a reaction. Yeah. Okay,
but it's only tiny though, isn't it? It's not really a massive interaction. It's not Hunter's Reflexes.
No, that's true. That is true. So there we go. There are all the cards, and our whatever they call it, a hot take on all of them.
Hot takes, yeah. Coolish takes.
Hot takes, hot potatoes. So I like we said a bit earlier on, I'm a bit Blair about the game at the minute, but I think I'm actually just more Blair about life in general rather than the game because of lockdown. And I think once we can get back in the garage, or wherever we end up, I think I'll start to enjoy the game again.
Me too. I know loads of people are having great fun doing the digital games, doing things like Straight Out of Shadespire, webcam games, digital games, but I just can't get into them. I don't know why. I think lots of stuff going on as well, but yeah, just fed up of being at home with the same 5 people all the time. Yeah. Or 4 people.
Yeah, it definitely feels a bit like that, and yeah, I can't. Yeah,
I'm actually quite getting into my hobbying, been painting, and I actually just want everybody to leave me alone and just get on with that. Sort of, I'm really looking forward to painting these guys.
Yeah, I really like the idea of painting these guys and the vampires, to be honest. I like the idea of painting both of them. Yeah. Finding the time to paint them, though, is tricky, and I did start the some Blitzbowl teams and never really got very far with them either. So
lockdown for me, yeah, and probably for everybody, is just such a time suck. I mean, if you haven't got kids, it's not so bad. We're having this discussion the other day. Basically, Joe's got friends, my wife's got friends who don't have children, and they've basically done every available DIY job in their house. The things that you never normally do, like cleaning out the grout and re-grouting the bathroom tiles and all that kind of stuff. They've done all of that and running out of things to do. And our house basically looks like 5 people have lived in it continuously for the last 12 months because they have.
Yeah. Van says life's not so bad. Getting up at 8:45 minutes before Zoom school starts. My kids don't have neither of my kids have Zoom school. They're both being the youngest is being 100% homeschooled by the wife. So she's got a lot greyer over the last 12 months. That's all I can say.
Right. Yeah. I mean, 2 of mine are mostly independent. One of them, one of them I have to teach full time. He has a very occasional online lesson, but actually that just messes things up because the teacher they just chat and have a laugh for 45 minutes, and then I have to catch up with the stuff that we're meant to be doing. And my son's like, "But I've been having a lesson." I was like, "No, but we didn't do this now." And then my middle one, he is a get it done as soon as possible person. So if you don't keep an eye on him, he'll go, "Have you actually done the work they said?" "Yeah." "Can I have a look?" "No." "Well, let's sit back down and do it."
It's when you look at his English essay, and it actually looked like what it used to look like when you were a kid and you pretend you were writing. Just scribbles on the page, just line after line.
Yeah, basically.
Timothy Grease says he really likes the webcam games. One thing you talk that he likes. I mean, you can talk during webcam games. You can on TTS as well, but I just find it's that distance and the delay you get when you're talking to somebody else and stuff. It doesn't make it quite the same.
No. I probably need to do it. It's one of those things. If I started doing it regularly, I'd probably enjoy it. That's what I say to the wife. Because it's like a barrier of entry that I haven't started. I need to kind of get into it more. I shouldn't have made that joke.
It just gets worse the more and more you talk.
Yeah.
I read a thing where someone said, I've just completed a task that I've been putting off for 6 months, and it took me 10 minutes, and I already feel better. I think it's that kind of thing that
It is.
you constantly put these things off because you're like, it's just too much hassle, and then you do it, and you're like, well, actually, that wasn't that much hassle at all, and now it works a lot better. But yeah.
I'm a bit fragile at the moment though, so competitive games aren't the best for me. I need some co-op online action. That doesn't sound good either. I think I might just stop talking.
I need a good group affair. That's what I need. Maybe out in the woods.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody found that useful, enjoyable, and if we made any massive mistakes in reading the cards, then well, that's how shit happens. So do stick it in the comments below. Let us know what your hidden gems are, what you think are definitely must-haves coming up, and if there's any preferred ways to play. Is there anybody out there who's played, what's the new version that they've got called, where you only play with the current season cards? Vanguard.
It's a bit limited.
I'm looking forward to
it's a little bit less now, but it's a little bit limited at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm definitely looking to try some Vanguard, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon when the Blizzard Mirror come out, Vanguard will be good.
Yeah, there's gonna be some more options, and like you say, when you actually stop for a moment and look at the models, the vampire models, the Chaos Warrior models, the Slanesh models, the Lizardmen models, they are really nice, and I think I prefer a lot more of these warbands than I did the Beastgrave warbands. So yeah, maybe it's just COVID, stupid COVID.
Yeah, we'll get back on track, I'm sure, and we need to play. But so I guess Pete will probably play next week. We'll actually meet and play, not live, but we'll meet and play, and we'll probably do Ravagers versus one of the other Darkchasm warbands.
Yeah, Ravagers versus somebody, and see what we can do with all the new cards that have come out.
Cool. Maybe we'll have a Vanguard
game. John Grant says COVID is crap. It is crap, John. Yeah, maybe a Vanguard game. I think half the problem I have when making a deck, because that's one of the big parts of the whole thing, and it can take ages. Yeah. It's just because of the number of cards. Whereas if you play Vanguard, it does cut your options down quite nicely.
It does, and I have to say, I've kind of irrationally, possibly, but irrationally taken against the Arena Mortis cards, so I don't want to play with them.
They do seem very, very good.
Yeah. And so it's maybe playing Vanguard would help kickstart my love of the game again.
Yeah, possibly. John Grant says you just use the starter decks. The problem with the starter decks is they could be really one-sided. I mean, if you took starter deck Despoilers or Wormspat against starter deck Hrothgorn or maybe these Khagra's Ravagers,
they look.
I think
I don't know how it works. Starter deck Darkchasm warbands. I don't know how they would go. The other thing is people don't watch them. So that's true. There's not so much point in playing them. If it was for fun, maybe, but people don't watch them, and we'll have to chase those ratings, guys.
Yeah, we've got to chase them likes because we have very fragile egos.
Yeah. Right. Well, Pete and I have got to go and record a giveaway.
We do.
So we should
keep your eyes out for that.
We should go do that. That should appear imminently. But the next couple of days anyway.
Imminently.
So
hopefully by Saturday.
We'll go and do that. Thank you everybody for listening. Don't overthink it. Great speed, great strength, great fortitude. You're halfway there. You're probably right, Valentin. You're probably right.
It's very true. So do stay safe, everybody. Thanks for tuning and watching us tonight. If you're watching this later on, thank you for watching the video. Do think about subscribing and liking and everything like that if you have got this far.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
We'll see you all soon in the Darkchasm.